Hey, it's Chris with Acton Creative, and this is a handwoven experience. And in today's episode, this is going to be the follow-up to analyzing your weaving project, part 2. Now, if you didn't yet see part 1, let me catch you up to speed. So let me give you my theory, is that as you complete your latest and greatest project, I know you're ready to jump into the next one right away. You're excited, you've been chewing on what comes next. But I'm going to encourage you to take a beat, take a minute, and do a little analyzing. Look at your project and actually sit with it for a minute to take a few notes about how it went. Now, part 1 was all about the technical stuff, right? So it's about the pattern and the colors and the textures and the sizing and all of those things where you compare what was your original plan to how did it end up, right? All the technical stuff. And that is absolutely so important to make notes about what you could do differently next time. However, part 2 is all about the non-technical stuff, because that I feel is just as important. And here's what I mean. You can do the best project. This was the plan. You meant for it to look exactly like this, like it is perfect in every way, and you can still not like it. That happens, my friends, and that is okay. It is important to note those things because this becomes more about you. What do you like and not like? And there may be some surprises. I know there have been for me. So let me take you through kind of my suggested way to tackle the non-technical stuff. Let's start with kind of the big 3 categories: dressing the loom, weaving the project, and finishing the project. So, dressing the loom. How did that go? Did you enjoy it? Did you get everything in the right place? How was it to slay your reed and thread your heddles? How was it to measure all the yarns onto the warping board or warping mill? Maybe you had a project that had a whole bunch of stripes and you had to keep changing colors, and that just annoyed you. That's happened to me recently. Maybe you had an alternate threading that wasn't just a straight draw, it was something a little more complicated, and you liked that challenge in particular. That's good to know. That's good to document. So anything about the dressing the loom process, kind of make notes of moments when you thought, I'm digging this, or nope, I don't enjoy this. And just as a note, if you're just starting out, I know dressing a loom is a whole big thing that you're learning. So try to kind of separate out the learning the process from this unique project, right? So next up, let's talk about weaving the project. How was it? How was it with this particular treadling? Did you enjoy this? Did you like seeing how it all came together? Here's something that I learned recently about myself, is that I did a project and the treadling was long. One repeat was like a page and a half printed. It just went on and on. And I could do it. But let me tell you how much I did not enjoy it. That was not for me. That's what I learned. I didn't know that about myself until I did this project. And I thought, I really am a weaver that likes to have a short enough repeat that I can keep it in my head and I don't have to keep constantly leaning over to refer to whatever the next treadling is. That's something good to document, something to learn about yourself. Did you have to use 2 treadles or 2 shuttles for this? Maybe that was hard keeping up with 2 shuttles, or maybe you really liked it. You're like, oh, that's exciting. I like the challenge of which shuttle goes where. Maybe you liked that. Make notes of that. And lastly, what about finishing the project? Was your plan to have this elaborate set of twisted fringe and it was beautiful and awesome, but you're like, no, it took too long. That was too much time. Or did you have a lot of sewing involved in your project? You're like, turns out I don't like to sew. Yeah. Or maybe you loved it. Maybe you want to do more of that. That's fantastic. And what about just the overall project? Did you have it on your loom forever and ever and ever? And was that because the project was huge and it was too big? Or because you didn't enjoy it, so you didn't keep on it? Ask yourself some of those questions. Did you put on, this is my example from before, did you put on 10 towels? You're like, nope, that's way too many. I am a 4 towel girl. That's it. I get bored. I want something new. I need to have a shorter project in the future. Great. These are all things that are important for you to take a note and document so that you can make smarter decisions as you go into your future projects. Now, I covered a lot of ideas for you here. And if you would like your very own worksheet, I have a free PDF for the Acton Creative Insiders. So all of the paid levels get a copy of this free worksheet to kind of get you thinking about how to analyze your next project, because I think both the technical and the non-technical are worth noting. It's worth taking a minute just to say, here's how I felt going through this project. And here's what I'll note going forward in the future. Weaving is a huge, big, enormous category, and there's a lot of different ways that you can find your joy, your purpose, your specific corner of the weaving world. And part of our jobs is to start to chip away at things we don't like, and then what we do, and pursue more of that. You can do it. You're doing great. By the way, no matter how your project turned out, yay you. Honestly, if it turned out great, bravo, you did it wonderful. If it turned out hideous and dreadful and you're like, oh, I'm putting that right in the trash, yay you finished it. You kept going. You learned all kinds of things from this project, which you wouldn't have known otherwise. And that is worth so much. So no matter how the project went, I'm proud of you. Keep going. All right, friends, have a great week. Happy weaving.